Hello mouses! Today I want to talk about the future of humanity as well as the future of robotics. Now there's a launch coming up of a robot called Roboy, which is going to be at a few events. It's going to try and make people comfortable with the idea of robots. And it's an amazing achievement. Instead of using cogs and gears and things like that to move parts, what it's actually going to have is replica tendons and joints in order to make a muscular system that is more like humanity's. So it moves smoother and it will be an awful lot easier for it to operate in areas designed for humans. Which is all well and good, but the issue that I want to talk about really is, why is this limited only to robotics? At the moment I can see that it's been designed in order to look as much like a human being that people can accept it as a humanoid robot, but not too much like a human being to set off that, oh my goodness, it's a fake human reaction that we tend to have. It's also known as the uncanny valley, when something looks human but not quite. There's something wrong with it and people go, oh, that's just weird and freaky. Uncanny valley is a massive issue in computer design with games and things like that, animation and cartoons, and also comics. If it looks human but not quite, then people instantly think it's bad and wrong and shouldn't be there. It's just one of those innate things. So Roboy gets around this by having a humanoid skeleton, yes, and humanoid tendons, yes, and muscles and things like that, but no skin. It shows off the robotics parts by having them encased in little cases themselves, but they're clearly visible, so it's like, wow, look at the technology, look how it moves, and that's how it does it. Instead of, wow, that's a replica skeleton and muscle system, that's just freaky, and they've covered it in fake skin that doesn't look quite right, and I just don't like it because it looks wrong. The face is quite good as well. It's like a cartoon. It looks like a cartoon quick drawing of a face, and that's brilliant. But it can recognise facial expressions and things like that, so it's got some artificial intelligence, and this is a fantastic step forward to both humanoid robots and artificial intelligence. So where does the bit about humans come in? What's actually happening here is they've got a skeleton structure that mimics humanity. They've got a project going on at the moment, the Human Brain Project, which is mapping neurons and working out how the brain works. The two are eventually going to come together, not just for artificial intelligence to make a better robot, but in another way. Currently, there are projects to replicate the human brain in a way that can cause us to be able to upload our brains into a data file that can then be transferred into a replica brain. And there, in that one sentence, is the future of humanity. Medical technology can keep us alive for a long time, but the body eventually degrades and dies. If we have a copy of ourselves at any point in life, but I would particularly say get a copy before you go out on any kind of major trip, or every 6 months or something like that. As long as the process doesn't take too long, like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, then you can have a copy of your brain made. Every time you make an insurance policy, you have a copy of your brain made, that kind of thing. But especially when you're getting toward death, a hospital would have, I would say that a hospital should have 1 or 2 of these brain copying systems, and then just so before you die you can copy yourself into a digital form, and you can then have a robotic body paid for out of your life insurance, or something like that, or a trust fund you've set aside, whatever. It's not going to be cheap, especially not at the start, but it is going to be an option for some people. I'd eventually like it to be an option for every person, but we'll work toward that as once it's brought in. And then, oh my goodness, you died, but you haven't died because you're still here. You then have a robotic body that's already been tried and tested by all of these robots that are going around, and you can control it by your digital brain. That is the future of humanity, I think. And also it has the added option of, right, so we can send robots in dangerous missions in space, or we can send a copy of an experienced astronaut who has done all the training and has been on missions before. They can go into space and they can do the mission for us. We have firefighters who no longer have to risk their lives to save people in dangerous places, because we can send a firefighter who's a robot firefighter, or we can send a robot firefighter backed up with an actual digital human firefighter in a robot body. Then we don't have to risk anyone's lives. Emergency services can be robotic humans. anyone that has to go down into deep sea to do any kind of mission or to repair problems. Like when the BT oil leak happened, we could send down a robotic human with engineering experience and pipelaying experience to go and identify the problem at its source and, if possible, fix it. The uses of this technology are limitless, providing we put in the time and effort. And that's why I think the Human Brain Project is possibly the greatest project we have ever undertaken, and I hope it works out well for us. Okay, that's all I want to talk about today. Like I said yesterday, it would be a much more light-hearted one, and it is. I think we're going to have a fantastic future providing all of this works out, and as it stands, it looks like it will. So that is fantastic. I hope to be around in time to see it. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so thank you very much for watching. If you did like this, remember to click the like button and share it with your friends so that they can see what's been going on in robotics and brain science today. And of course, subscribe for future videos because there will be more. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Knob Mouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.